Hello and welcome back to Math with Mrs. Becker. Today in Algebra 2, we are going to look at section 6.7, the last day. Remember this section we've been focusing on graphs. So today we are going to look at something that is called a turning point. A turning point is the location where your graph changes from increasing to decreasing. So I will give you a point like that. It looks like it's at the top of a mountain. Or where it changes from when it was decreasing, it hits that point and now it's increasing. Okay, so when you have a point like this, it looks like it's at the top of a mountain. So this is called a local maximum. Sometimes they call them a relative maximum. What that means is this is the highest point in comparison to the points that are around it. This is a local or a relative minimum. It's at the bottom. It looks kind of like it's at the bottom of a valley. It doesn't have to be the lowest point on the graph. It is just lower than the points that are around it. Okay, so that's why they call it a local minimum. Okay, now let's go ahead and start graphing. One of the skills for today is to be able to look at Desmos.com and be able to set the windows. So I'm going to go ahead and show you how to do that in a couple examples. So if you go to Desmos.com, you'll notice here, we want to set the x's from -5 to 5 and the y's from -25 to 25. So if I just hit this little wrench in the corner, it's like a little tool, this allows you to set the windows. We want the x's to go from -5 to +5. We want the y's to go from -25 to 25. Okay, so that's one of the big skills for the day. Now I go ahead, tap on that little tool again, and my window will be set. If I put in the function, I would have 2x to the power of 3 minus 18x plus 1. Now, when you look at this graph, we can see that there are two extreme points is what they're called. That's what they call those maximums and minimums. Here is a point where it's changing from increasing, it hits this point, now it's decreasing. Here is a point where it's changing from decreasing, it hits that point and it's increasing. Nice thing about Desmos.com is you can go ahead and just tap on that point and you see the ordered pair. So right here, we can see that there are two, they call them extreme points, maximums and minimums. This is our maximum because it looks like it's at the top of a hill. So -1.732 and 21.785. Find the minimum. Our minimum is going to be the point that looks like it's at the bottom of a valley. That is located at 1.732 and -19.785. Okay, so that is exactly what you'll be doing today. If you go ahead and look at the worksheet, you will set the window. Okay, and on the worksheet, I tell you set the x's, like on question number 1, -6 to 6, y, -10 to 50. So you're practicing how to set the window on Desmos, graph the polynomial on the calculator, so Desmos.com, sketch the graph. Okay, so you're going to go ahead and sketch just like here, include the markings on the side. So here's an example of what you want that to look like. Here's a sketch. This is how you have your window set. Okay, identify the total number of turning points. So how many did we have? Like here we had 2 total. Then you have to say how many of them are maximum, how many of them are minimum, and find the ordered pair. So with that in mind, let's go ahead and do the next example. So step 1, I need to set the window. So I'm going to get rid of that. To set the window in Desmos.com, you hit that little tool. We want our x's to go from -5 to 5. So if I look right here, it says x-axis -5 to 5. We want our y's to also go -5 to 5. So the smallest y value, -5, largest y value, 5. Okay, then you tap the tool and it's closed. So you would go ahead and sketch that with your values. Now we graph this. So if I go ahead and enter in x to the power of 3 minus 2x minus 3. Here's the graph. Okay, so again, cool thing about Desmos, I can go ahead and I can slide this thing around. This would have 2 total turning points. Okay, that's how many I have total. How many locations does it switch from increasing to decreasing or decreasing to increasing? Then I go ahead and I look. I have one maximum. There's 1 point that looks like it's at the top of a hill. So negative 0.816. There we go, that's a comma. And negative 1.911. I have one minimum point. 1 point where it's changing directions and it looks like it's at the bottom of a curve. It's 0.816 and negative 4.089. So those are my two turning points. And for today, since we are on a Friday and it's a shortened class period, I am going to just let you have the rest of the time to work. So again, the big thing, set the windows on Desmos. Make sure you graph it, sketch it. So every single problem, you should have a sketch like this where you show me how you have the window set, okay? Then how many total turning points, how many of them are maximums and minimums, and then it says use the analyze option. That's where you just go ahead and tap on that point. It gives you the ordered pair. So you'll go ahead and give the ordered pair for each maxima and minima. That is the end of 6.7. I hope you had a great time today. Have fun working on this worksheet. Talk to you soon.